are at risk of moving to the red list. So if you look at the front page of the Times today, it says Tories revolt over new crackdown on holidays. And it's reporting that Spain, Italy and Greece might all end up on that list, on that watch list. Well, I'm joined by Zoe Harris, who's Chief Customer Officer at On the Beach, which is one of the UK's leading online retailers of beach holidays. Zoe, good morning.
Good morning.
OK, a green list, a green watch list, then an amber list, then more freedom for double jab Brits, and now an amber watch list. Are you finding the traffic light system easy to follow?
I think the challenge with it is the speed at which it can change. So each traffic light announcement is valid for around 3 weeks, isn't it? And outside of that, anything can change anyway. And to be fair to the government, I think they have been clear that when they make these announcements, they're led by the data, as we've heard, and things can change again. So I think it makes it very difficult for customers to book holidays with confidence that they'll go ahead without disruption, cancellation or increased costs. And as we've talked about before, it's why On the Beach has taken the decision to stop selling holidays for departures in August, because I think there's just so much uncertainty still to enable us to sell holidays to our customers with confidence that they'll go ahead.
But you're planning to start selling holidays again from early autumn, aren't you? Do you think that things will be just a little bit more back to normal? There'll be a little bit more certainty by then? Or do you think we've just got to start selling some holidays? We're a holiday company.
We're watching the information and looking ourselves at what we think the government will do and having some level of certainty that those holidays will go ahead. So when we look at the vaccination rates and the COVID incidences in other countries who tend to be around 4 weeks behind us, we can have a sense of the direction of travel on that, excuse the pun. So yeah, we are selling holidays for September onwards. And when we get the next announcement, which is on expected Wednesday or Thursday this week, we'll look again at that decision.
So if the announcement had more uncertainty, you might consider postponing again?
I think that's right. We're hopeful, and it feels that things are going in the right direction. And my anticipation is that we'll be good to go for September. But certainly there are stories this weekend in the press, aren't there, about more countries going to what's being dubbed Amber Plus, which means you do have to quarantine when you come back. So I think overall what we're hoping for and asking for is a sustained return to travel, and that when customers book those holidays, they have as much confidence as is possible in a pandemic that those holidays will go ahead without a change to the rules from the time they booked.
Are your customers booking now, for autumn travel, or are you seeing a bit more hesitancy, or is there a huge pent-up demand?
There's some pent-up demand, and you'll see reports in the press that there's an increase on a normal year or on what's gone previously. I think it's important to remember that that's from low base of the number of holidays that have been booked overall. I think customers are very cautious, and certainly when we talk to our customers, we see that people are wanting to wait and see a bit more. I think over the last 18 months or 2 years, there's been so much disruption to holidays. People really want to be more certain when they book that those holidays will go ahead.
So what about testing? I mean, you talked about wanting a sustainable return to travel that can just begin unlocking, can begin getting back to something like normal. Do you think that the new rules on vaccinated travellers not having to quarantine is what's going to really unlock it for your industry?
It's really helpful, isn't it? But you still have to have two tests at the moment to come back even to from an amber country. And that does have costs, especially if you're a family, and especially if you haven't budgeted and expected those costs at the time when you booked those holidays, maybe last year or even 2 years ago, it's a holiday that's been moved. So I think there's still that financial uncertainty at the moment. What we really need to see is more countries on green, a sustained period of time when other countries are on amber, so that customers really know what they're committing to at the time that they book those holidays.
I mean, obviously, we're still very much in the middle of a pandemic. Do you want to see the rules on testing change?
I think our view has been On the Beach that the important thing is that COVID is managed and controlled, and we don't have access to the data that the government has when they make those decisions. So we trust that they are looking at the data and doing the right thing for us in terms of managing the COVID incidences and the different variants here in the UK. I think what we would like to see the industry do is think more about the sustained return to travel and make sure that we're being as transparent as possible with customers when they book those holidays as to the likelihood of them going ahead, or what happens if there are changes to those, to the regulations.
Now, there is a lot of uncertainty for customers. What's your advice for anyone who's just thinking, I just want to get away at some point in 2021?
I think if you're able to be a bit flexible, then you can definitely book a holiday with On the Beach for September onwards. And if that holiday needs to be moved for any reason, then we will move that holiday for you, change the dates without any fees. So it's just about you being aware that the traffic light system at the minute goes three weeks ahead, and so the state that you book that holiday in right now today may have changed in 3 weeks' time, and you may need to move your holiday. And if you're able to do that because you can be flexible around your work, or you're flexible around perhaps the cost of the test, etc., then it's fine to go ahead and book. And if you're not, then I would suggest that you wait until there is more certainty and you really know what you're getting yourself into at the time of booking that holiday.
Yeah, it's just because it's good to just look forward to a holiday, isn't it? And you sort of don't have that at the moment. You can't just sit back and think, oh yes, Greece at the end of the summer, because you just can't be sure.
It's true, and I think we've all got probably people in our own social circles who've got holidays booked, and a lot of the conversation is it happening or not? So you see it's a very different type of, I think some of the usual bits of a holiday, the best bit, isn't it, is looking forward to that holiday. And that's very difficult at the minute because you just don't have confidence for many of us that they'll be going ahead in a way that you can really enjoy them. So yeah, it's definitely a challenging time, and I have no doubt that holidays next year are going to be some of the best holidays abroad that we've ever had because of 2 years without travelling and a year without looking forward to a holiday. So summer 22 is going to be amazing for all of us, I'm sure.
I'm going to hold you to that, Zoe. Zoe Harris, thank you very much, Chief Customer Officer at On the Beach. Listening to Zoe there is Laura Foll, Fund Manager of Janus.